Cardinal coffee.
Got it.
Tyler.
Hey, what's up? Back again. Are we high-fiving? What are we doing here?
Yes. Tyler and Adam are from HAAS Cable
Railing. Yeah.
HAAS Cable Railing.
Yeah.
So I just want to reintroduce them. They've been on our show. Well, you haven't.
No.
Yeah, he's a new guy.
And he's bringing class of matching hat to shorts to the logo color. And they're going to be joining us today, putting up our cable rails. And they're also supplying the cable rails. They make really nice stuff. So if you need some cable rails, make sure to get on their website. There's a link down in our description. Let's build something.
Yeah, let's do it.
Now, I don't want to spill all the beans, but we're using a different cable system here called the Revo. Is that right?
Yep, Revo system.
And all you're going to see is that.
Yep.
There's no tensioner visible.
Yeah, so pretty much.
And that is like what I call
yes,
beautiful.
all you would see on the back side of this post, all you're going to see is this.
What are you building?
I've been trying to keep it a secret. Here. You want to know for real?
Sure.
It's a demonstration tool.
Okay.
We're going to show people how the cable spacing on the flat runs versus the angled runs on the stairs, what kind of geometry you're running into.
Oh,
because
that actually could be interesting.
Because you want it to be the same spacing. The cable, the distance from one cable to the next cable, like say 4 inches maximum, right? Well, you want to match the ones on your slope railings the same. But I'm saying you probably can't. We've designed and built this awesome looking jig to demonstrate how the cable spacing from cable to cable in a perpendicular measurement will change if you are on a horizontal or a flat run of rail versus a sloped rail for a stairway. Right now we have a spacing of approximately, well, that's a little different, 3 3/4 right there.
Okay.
And then, so this represents a flat rail. Now Ray's gonna drop his side down to represent an angled rail.
Okay.
Now the spacing is 3 inches.
Okay, so the cable to cable is different, but the vertical spacing, let's go vertical.
If we went vertical, we would have
It's
close to the same
about
spacing.
the same, which is a little mind-blowing.
And you can see that we're gonna exaggerate for the sake of demonstration. Hold yours down, I'm gonna lift mine up. The steeper the staircase, our jig may not permit us to do this very well. The steeper the staircase, you can see that the problem is exaggerated even more to the point to where this is now perpendicular measurement 2.5.
Yeah, and these may be getting crazy as well.
They are
this
getting
one's
bowed up.
probably like only 2.
Yeah, it is only 2.
That's something to take note of if you're doing this. You might go through a lot of pencils today.
Good thing they're free.
Sorry.
Whoa!
Whoa.
Oh, God.
So in the case you didn't hit your 2 holes together, or you just need to clean them out, just hook a file up to your drill.
Whose idea was that?
Jono's.
Really?
It wasn't mine, yeah.
Dang it. That's a good one.
You gotta learn how to lie, man.
Yeah, that was my idea. Yeah, totally mine.
Come on, dude.
Well, Jono's standing right there.
Oh, yeah.
I can't use that metal in his ears.
We're breaking out some new tool ideas today. The name of perfection is getting it level when you're drilling these. And Jono just got a torpedo taped to his drill. And I think you're drilling level. That's actually a great idea. Except maybe taping it on top might be easier.
There's nowhere that's super flat.
Yeah, you'd have to go a little side slang on the miss your button there. We do have a marking jig or a story pole that I'm using to put the marks on the posts. I think that's a lot less likely way to get it messed up than measuring each time. So right here though, he's transferring these layout lines because they're different because it's on the slope rail, as Jamie was explaining. They're different spacing, so he's just transferring around with the Big 12.
There are so many marks on these.
I know.
Shh.
Well, I mean,
Jono! Eraser!
No.
We got a little pro tip here to not put all kinds of marks on your posts. You got two guys speed squaring. We're transferring lines from that side to this side. So you can hook and hook. Just put a mark there.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's your first mark at the point at where the cable was basically entering into the hole in the post. Your second mark is to recess it. So then what you do, you put your wood post protector on now, then your stud goes on, then you would crimp this.
Do you ever use the double grip on the camera?
yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that for high wind?
Like the highest wind, you know, when the wind is just coming.
That thing is
It
awesome.
keeps it steady.
I thought that was just a new phone with a really nice camera built into it. I don't know.
Yeah,
can you call people on
Oh, it's got a back
calls.
handle, too.
Yeah, you can make calls. You can stick this in between your legs and
Whoa,
Wait,
hey,
wait,
this is
wait,
PG,
wait, hold
PG
on.
stuff on this channel only. Jono's getting the through post tensioner tightened to the post, through the post, and it's got basically a washer that contacts the face of the post, a nut that pulls against that, and then this will get sawed off.
And this is threaded here, huh?
It is, and that'll get
That right there.
covered up with that guy. Pretty beautiful system.
So Tyler, as you can see, eyeballs what he's doing.
Yeah, he
See by
does.
the different lengths.
And it doesn't matter as much on the through post because you don't see the tensioner.
That's pretty
And I
good.
don't have to
That's
be
pretty
so
good
meticulous.
eyeball working there.
Yeah, well this one's, yeah.
You know what I do? Sometimes I say you just gotta.
You can,
gotta
you can- well this is the thing. In a six, the real way to do it
So OCD.
would be to pull the cable tight, mark it where it enters the post, and then you take a ruler or made like a little template stick, line up that little ruler with the first mark and measure approximately 2.5 inches past it, and it's perfect.
You told me 2 inches.
But
bro. You can keep
I decided to guesstimate it.
Larry
And
Hahn.
it's still coming out great.
Larry.
There it is.
We're installing here what the code book likes to call guards, and they guard you from falling off an elevated surface at your house. You don't have to have them if your elevated surface is less than 30 inches off the ground. They're okay with you falling 30 inches.
Yeah, 30 inches.
on your
Nah,
face.
he'll be fine.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it. He's fine. But we're at 36, so guards are required. And the other bit of this is that the balusters on our guards have a maximum spacing in our area by the code of 4 inches. And so we're at about 3 3/4 on our horizontal balusters. And that goes for horizontal or vertical, with the one exception of where you're running down some stairs, like the stairs are going like this. You're allowed in that one particular place to have what a 6-inch kind of hole. And that's the only exception that I know of. Cheers, and thank you to Keeps for sponsoring our video. Keeps help you to keep your hair, or even sometimes regrow your hair like it did my hair. I was pretty thin on top, and now, after a year of use, it's coming back, baby. So with Keeps, you can get your hair loss medication online. You can get a 3-month supply at a time. You don't have to go to the doctor's office. You don't have to go down to the pharmacy. And it's really easy to use. It takes me about 10 seconds a day, and it's no problem. It's also about half what you'd expect to pay if you go down to the pharmacy and get a similar product, so I'd really recommend it. If you'd like to take action and get going, keeping your hair or regrowing your hair, just go to keeps.com/Perkins and you'll get 50% off your first order, and I think you'll love it. Thanks again to Keeps for sponsoring our video, and let's get back to work. Thank you, Keeps.
And to work on beers.
I don't know about that. You don't need anything on your beard, bro.
I need a little more
Are you
filled
thin?
in. Filled in. I
I
just
think
need,
the beard is fantastic, bro.
Yeah.
I do. Let's dive a little bit deeper. Since we're using cables here, they could deflect if they had a long span and you pulled them apart, unless you had like 250 pounds of tension on them, which would tend to maybe pull the posts in. That's a lot of pressure on this many cables. One of the best ways to get away from that is to have a rigid spacing installed every 4 or 5 feet along the cable run like we have here. And a 2x4 works great. These cables aren't fully tensioned yet, but you can see where it runs through the 2x4, it can't be deflected up and down. And that's why we try to go with about a maximum of 5 feet between these vertical spacers like this. We've got a couple places where we're terminating into this 2x6 that's against the house, so we can't do a through post tensioner.
Or a through post end stop.
Or an end stop.
Yeah.
So this is an end stop that is not through post. It just threads into these holes that we've pre-drilled, and we actually set up with a really nice hex on a drill, so they go in quick. So this will go in here like this. And then the cable has got a termination that'll thread right into that with a post protector. And let me see if I can do that myself.
About 15 per 15, 30, 60, yeah.
Boom.
That's slick. And Jamie's gonna say something else.
I really like the idea of the cables not having to be so tight.
It is a little scary.
Have you ever been in a parking garage where they have cables at a parking deck?
I'm sure I
A
have.
big concrete thing?
Okay.
Well, they have really big cables, right?
Yeah.
They're like galvanized steel. They are so tight that they act like solid rod. I
Right.
mean, but they're anchored into these giant concrete, see how big? These giant concrete columns that are steel reinforced.
Yeah.
So they can put all the tension they want. I mean, really, this is totally different with, a piece of wood. It's not a giant steel and concrete
I'm
column.
with you, yeah. Just being able to tension them to the right amount versus being like stuff is popping and cracking tight.
Next time you go to a parking deck, look for the cable rails and give it a little pluck. Boing. They're super tight.
Don't worry, everybody will just be looking at you like, what is this guy doing?
Ding, ding, ding.
Don't worry about it. So have you guys had any supply chain issues like everybody else with your business?
Not really. Well, everything's made in New Orleans, which is good. And no, I mean, for the most part, it's good. We buy all the cable in bulk. And if you're a big cable rolling geek, the cable all comes from South Korea, which is kind of the gold standard of
Yeah.
stainless steel cable. So no, we're good to go.
Yeah, that's
no supply
that
issues.
is amazing actually.
Yeah, orders typically ship usually like the same day. But it's always a good idea. If you are in a crunch, give us a call. Let me know. We'll take care of you.
Your phone number is gonna be right here.
Perfect.
Tyler.
My personal number?
Yes. Right here, guys.
No.
And
that's
ladies.
fine. No, I'm married.
Oh. Never mind. Here's something interesting about the Revo system where the tensioners are hidden inside the post. You could end up in a situation, I think, where you have a tensioner going this way through the post and that way. And the problem would be, see that? They can't be exactly the same. So Tyler is teaching me about how to offset these enough vertically to where they would just kind of touch, and that would be a 3/16
Yeah.
offset. But I think we can do it in a way where we're not going to have this intersection problem by putting the tensioners, like thinking ahead.
Really, the best thing to do is have a plan whenever you do this. Sit down, kind of draw a sketch, and then lay out the runs and say, my end stop is here, my tensioner is here. And you can actually plan it out like we are going to do today, so where we don't have to do any offsets. But in the event that you did, the offset is unnoticeable.
How about the ton?
I guess we got to mention that keeping this stud from turning like it's turning right now, Ray. You got to squeeze it tighter.
Oh yeah.
Is really important because then this will have a memory and it could spin back and just loosen your tension.
It'd be better if this actually gripped.
I think, yeah, tighten that up to get it straight on. There you go.
It's a little sharp.
Let me try guitar.
There we go.
We're wrapping up day one, and one final thought was drilling these posts. The regular auger bit or the spade bit.
Yeah.
I called it a paddle bit, which was not correct, evidently.
Well, I mean, it can be both.
Okay, whatever. Okay, it's fine. And my findings, and he said he agreed with me, was that the auger bit tend to tear the surface of the wood a little bit and kind of
It's terrible.
just terrible. And this cut a nice clean hole. This this also tended to kind of grab and pull whichever way it was going, even if it wasn't
you don't have any
straight.
control. No control.
Whereas this was a little more steerable. So the pro tip is to use the paddle bit.
yeah, especially with the wood post protectors too.
Yes, spade is out.
That's the auger bit.
Whoa!
I just
hey.
kidding. That was your bit.
Yeah,
Throw it off the mountain.
These are both actually mine. So
Tomorrow.
Good morning, and thanks so much for joining us. You're listening to Blue Ridge Public Radio, KPR News. I'm Mark Hayes.
We got a little problem. Did you know that?
No,
I'll tell you about it.
I'm sure you will.
Well, our railing is going to terminate against this corner board, and we're going to put a 2x6. We'll just pretend that this is it right here.
Okay.
All right, now the problem is it hangs over past the edge. See, I can stick my hand behind it there. And the siding is going to go back in there. But if we install this board now,
Oh, you can't caulk it.
we'll never be able to caulk it. You see what I'm talking about? All right, so...
oh my gosh, help me!
All right, so Jason has the answer.
All right.
I'll tell you what it is. All right, because once he starts talking, dude, you'll never get him to shut up. All right, we're going to go ahead and side this part right here.
Okay.
And even though we don't have the window, we don't have the door, we're just going to have to run it long, and then we'll cut it off later.
Okay.
We're going to side it. We're going to caulk it, but only up to the height that we have to get above this piece right there.
Genius.
Way to go, bud.
Tyler's putting the final tension on the final section, and then we're done with these cables.
That is it.
That's awesome.
Just doing a little bit of tuning.
That's a wrap on our cable rails. I just want to give a huge thanks again to Tyler for coming down from erigging.com. Get online and check them out. They have all kinds of different cable rail systems, components, American made. And that's the guy, Tyler. That's him. And Adam. Adam's over there doing camera stuff. Yeah. And also make sure to check out their YouTube channel they have with their company. And they're doing this series. It'll be like a playlist, like how we do playlists, called Cable Railing the Country. Yeah. And it may not be up at the same time we release our video because they use real camera equipment. And it may take them a little longer to edit it than it's going to take me. But check back for that. They're going to have cool trips all over the place doing rails and hanging out with folks just like this. So thanks for building with us. And we'll see you on the next one. Give us a thumbs up if you don't mind.